and from the pullover position do a tricep extension, come back down, then finish the pullover. So from the also side, kind of using my rotator cuffs to externally rotate my shoulders. Hello everybody, it's May 16th, 3:33 p.m. and I'm at the park. Canada has a public holiday on Monday, and so I just decided to get off work early today and just have a longer weekend. Anyway, today I'm going, I didn't bring any of my heavier stuff today, so I have my 15-pound mace, my 15-pound clubs, and then my 25-pound kettlebell and my 45-pound kettlebell. Today my plan is to, pretty much do a little bit of everything, but it's going to be lighter in nature. I'm also going to try and incorporate some ideas that I've had over the past couple of days. Anyway, starting off with something basic, steel mace, two-handed 360 to single-handed 360. Doing this 10 times on each side. Doing 360s at the top of a workout is a really, cool way to get the shoulders feeling nice and smooth. Also, the whole body is engaged and a lot of core, and the core is present in nearly every exercise, so it's a nice movement to just sort of get it activated before moving into anything more serious. Though today nothing is super heavy, so it's not going to be that serious, but serious nevertheless. And even on other days, like when I record in my backyard and stuff, like before I actually get into the workout, I do spend some time just freestyling with my 7-pound mace to just get all the joints feeling nice and lubed up before moving into the main workout. I think I'm at 9 reps, but I could be miscounting. And this is 10, and this is 10. Then supersetting this with a Clubbell movement. So using two 15-pound clubs. So going to do a single arm pullover, and from the pullover position do a tricep extension, come back down, then finish the pullover. So from the side. Then going for 5 each side of this. Then doing two-handed pullover and tricep. 4, 5. Ooh. That burns the arms quite a bit because the whole time I'm holding the kettlebell or the club, and even with the 360s before that, the forearms start burning, and the whole time I'm kind of in this locked in position, so the bicep isometrics are activated. And then with the pullover there's lats, but even in the pullover position your triceps stay in a stretch position for a really long time, and then that plus the extension gives a really good pump and burn. So yeah, this is what I'm starting off with, 4 to 5 sets, then on to the next thing. So for the next set of movements, doing a Clubbell rotation complex to a kettlebell movement. So for the Clubbell movement, I'm not sure what this rotation is called, but going from that into a reverse mill, then switch hands and repeat. With this movement there's a little bit of wrist rotation, and I'm also kind of using my rotator cuffs to externally rotate my shoulders. And then the mill is a mixture of shoulders and back and core all the way through. And I don't know if it's noticeable enough, but when I'm like doing that movement, I'm also like bringing my head forward. Like little actions like that can contribute to the total force generated in the movement. So if I don't do that, the movement goes a little bit more into the elbows, and it's not, I guess, ideal. You do want the elbows to work, but not like, I don't know, you'd have to do it for it to make sense. There's just a little bit too much pressure on the elbow without that head movement. Now obviously the weight probably matters. You can probably do it with a lighter weight without having to think about that too much. I'm going for 10 of these on each side. I believe this rep is 10th rep. Then with my 45-pound kettlebell, I'm going to go from tactical clean to shoulder press to windmill. Switch sides and repeat. Windmills are a really great movement for core and shoulder stability. Like holding a kettlebell and bending over like this isn't a very like easy position to be in. But I think in time it does pay dividends in core and shoulder stability. going for 5 of these on each side. I have a imbalance in my right shoulder, and so when I do the reps on my right shoulder, I try to do it a little slower. So usually when there's an imbalance, it means that your muscles have kind of certain muscles have overcompensated in a certain way to perform something. Anyway, anytime you do an exercise, if you don't really think about it, the body tends to behave the same way it always does, which is with the imbalance. And you need to consciously make it act as if an imbalance doesn't exist. And to you, that's going to feel awkward because your body is used to moving in the imbalanced way. But you need to kind of do that, and then your body corrects the imbalance and then goes back to how it's quote unquote meant to be instead of the imbalanced state, if that makes sense. So personally, I have a tight set of upper pec muscles, and that pulls my shoulder a little ahead. And so when I do the windmill, I try to intentionally relax those muscles so that my shoulder moves back a little bit more so that I can work in that position. And as my body gets stronger and more confident in being that state, the more willing it will be to keep those muscle fibers in a relaxed state, which should in time fix my imbalance. But yeah, this is what I'm doing for now, 4 to 5 sets, and then on to the next. For the next set of movements, sticking with the windmill, but doing a kneeling version of it, and I'm going to combine that with the snatch. So using my 45-pound kettlebell again, I'm going to do a snatch from dead stop. So a hang snatch is when the weight's like here, and so you can kind of like get some momentum behind it and then use your hips to do the snatch, versus from a dead stop, the power to do the snatch almost exclusively comes from the arms pulling it off the floor. You also get to use some of the force that you build with your legs from a deadlift position. But anyway, the mechanics of the snatch aren't too relevant right now. The main point being you get to use some more help with a hang snatch versus a dead stop snatch. In any case, yeah, the movement looks like this. So from a dead stop, snatch, go into a lunge, then move the back leg behind the other leg, kneeling windmill, come up, and back to dead stop, and switch hands. So like I mentioned in the previous set of movements, my imbalanced side is my right side. So I am going to take a few extra seconds on my right side to feel the movement properly. Because at any moment I feel like there's a battle internally for my body to do it the imbalanced way, and it takes a lot of conscious effort to rectify it, and then the muscles start twitching, battling between both positions, and I have to win that battle. I think I said it, but doing it 3 times on each side. Working out with it being hotter outside definitely presents its own challenge. Working out in heat definitely takes more out of the body than not in heat. But I like the extra challenge. It's like I get to get more done with the same time. Was that 3? I'll do one more for safety. Then with my steel mace, going to do a full body sort of thing, but complex. So starting off with 5 360s. After 5, doing 5 offset or single arm curls. Switch sides and repeat. Like, it might not seem like much doing curls with a 15-pound weight, but that combined with all the 360s and stuff start adding up, and so the biceps do get worked. Anyway, for the next exercise, doing 5 single arm 360s and then shoulder press for 5. Repeat. Then going to do single arm 360 to a lateral lunge with a mace touch on the floor. This act of lunging to the side and touching the mace on the floor stretches the adductors or groin area, and it does help with like inner hip mobility, and also just work on the adductors in general. I'm going for 5 of this on each side. So yeah, pretty grueling, but not too bad. Full body complex between all of this. Doing this for 4 sets, then on to the next thing. So this is usually about when I'd start kettlebell juggling. I do plan on juggling today, but I wanted to do a couple or one more thing with the club and kettlebell before I did that. So not doing a superset or anything this time. Keeping my 25-pound kettlebell in shoulder rack position and going to do mills. So the act of keeping the kettlebell on the shoulder forces the core on the opposite side to stay engaged in a unique way while doing the mills with the opposite hand. Also, like when you keep the kettlebell on the shoulder, you kind of like retract your shoulder blades. So just all in all, it's just a unique contraction that you don't get when you're just doing the regular mills. And so by combining both, you get its own, I guess, feel. Switching sides and repeating. So yeah, just doing like 4 sets of this. It's not particularly taxing, so just kind of going quick with it. And some juggling to end off after. But now it's, I guess, officially summer. And yeah, summer's, I guess, for most people, the best time of year. But yeah, today while juggling, I want to, so there's this trick I've been working on. So there is something called a tap back. So a tap back is this. And so you'll notice that when I do the tap back, it just rotates like half one way. So it's possible to do a double flip tap back where it flips twice before you tap it. It requires some good timing. I've kind of gotten it down with going to my right hand. So that looks like this. Hopefully I land it. Wasn't the smoothest, but and I want to incorporate that in a flow / sequence. So yeah, let's start. Not bad. Not bad. Ooh, that was nice, I think. I feel like this angle puts me in a shadow but gives the shot a more dramatic feel. So, I don't know, might look cool. Anyway, on to the final juggling stretch. Alright, I'm done for the day. That's all for today's video. I'm gonna finish off with some abs in the park. But yeah, see you all in the next one.